Welcome to the SCG Baltimore Tournament Report, brought to you by Zane. I'm going to talk about how SCG Baltimore went for me and my team, and also for how it went in general, and how the event was run, and how the weekend was, and everything like that. So, my team was playing Green-Black in Standard, Affinity in Modern, and Blue-Red Prowess in Legacy. If you're unfamiliar with how Baltimore was structured for the Open was teams of 3, 1 on Standard, 1 on Modern, and 1 on Legacy. In order to win for your round, you must win 2 matches out of those 3 matches. If you already win 2 matches, the other match becomes void. So, the tournament was going well. I mean by well, we were having a great time, and we actually finished. We started 0-3, and we finished something like 3-6 on the day, because we did actually play out the rounds because my teammates thought it would be fun to do so, and I didn't want to play in a side event on Saturday. I played in the Modern Classic on Sunday, however. My personal matches were pretty difficult. Both my teammates, my teammate on Green, Black, and Standard had a lot of mirror matches and had a lot of unfavorable matches. And then my other teammate had a decent amount of unfavorable matchups in the Leovold decks. So that's very difficult for Blue-Red Prowess to get through. I faced a lot of grindy decks. So first round I went against Grixis Control and won. Then I went against Jund and lost. And then the following round, I went against Jund and won. Followed by an Abzan Rally deck. So I didn't want to go over those last 3 rounds. They're format staples. I had Edge Champions, they were good. I didn't have Edge Champions, they weren't good. Those sort of things. But the ring that I really want to talk about are the cool matchups that I had for the day. Or the amount of matchups that were bad for me. So, Grixis Control and Jund are not favorable. And then I went against Abzan Rally, which is not a very good matchup because they have a lot of flyers to block, and they buy a lot of time with their Blood Artists and their Sack Outlets and their Spirits and their Chump Blockers. So they bought a lot of time while also pressuring my life total. Eventually rallied and was able to win Game 2. Game 1 I was able to win in the air. In Game 3, I was actually able to win on the ground with Edge Champion. So I was 3-1 in personal matches at that point, which was very, it was pretty good for, having the matchups that I've had. Round 5, I went against Bant Spirits. Bant Spirits is a deck, that was made very popular, but it hasn't been seen around very much lately. And it's really cool to see that again, but I was actually able to win through some fortunate draws with early cranial platings, and followed by Galv Blasts and Dismembers, as well as Edge Champion. I think the Dismember is very good in that matchup since it gets rid of their flying blockers that you need to get rid of. Grid is also very good, so I brought that in as well. Did not get to see it, but it is very good. So that was cool. That was cool. We got stuck on lands a little bit for the second game for a while, but then I was able to squeak it out. And my opponent actually went Chalice on 1, which is traditionally not very good against Affinity, but I did have 3 Signal Pests in the hand, which would have taken over the in-game. So that was kind of rough. And so I won that match, though, so I was able to advance to 4-1 on personal matches. My team was far behind at this point, but it was okay. We were having a fun day. We just couldn't line up our wins correctly. Like, we were winning a decent amount together, just not lining them up well. So, one of us would win, the other one of us would win, and then 2 of us would barely win, and then one of us, another one would win. It just wasn't lining up very well. So then we played against, my next round was against Titan Shift. This was a cool match because I was actually able to survive an Emrakul hit. I was able to go down to 1 permanent with just an Inkmoth Nexus. And I was able to swing, and end the game because he was already at 7 poison. So that was really, really cool. And then game 2 and 3 are not very favorable, and I was not able to win those games. My next round was against Bantal Eldrazi, and I kept a hand with 2 Etch Champions in my starting hand, so I was not able to win that game. And game 2, he had an early Stony Silence, followed by a bit of pressure, and that was very good. I actually almost got him down. Got him pretty close, but close is not a win, so that was a loss. And then the next round, our opponents did not show up. Followed by, I played Nahiri Jessica Control the last round. Mulliganed a bunch and lost that match. The matchup is also not very favorable. They have Wraths as well as spot removal, followed by a decently quick clock of Emrakul. So that was my open, matchups and how those went. The Classic on Sunday, I had a little bit better matchups. I did finish 5-4, however, after starting 4-0. Kind of fell off the cliff, if you will. I put against Titan like a Titan deck of some kind with Valakut. Get round 1 and was able to win. Followed by Elves, which was a really cool Elves with Eldritch Evolution to search for Elvish Norn, Iona, Craterhoof, and Gristlebrand using not Ashland Rider, but Allosaurus Rider. You can exile 2 green cards from your hand and put it into play. It's a 7-drop that is equal to the number of lands you control +1 for both power and toughness, which is a really, really cool card. That's with Eldritch Evolution because you can search 2 higher. So I lost a game to that match, but I was able to win. Then I played against Infinity Mirror and won. And I played against Naya Burn and won. So it was 4-0, and I was feeling really good. And then I went against non-white Bring to Light Scapeshift. So white, red, blue, green. That matchup is not great. Lost that match. A lot of Shadow Storm, game 2 and 3. Consistent Shadow Storm off of Bring to Light. So that was not the best. And then I played against Countercat. Countercat is an old deck that plays Wild Nikadal, Delver's Secrets, Snapcaster Mage, and a bunch of spells to keep your opponents off balance. Remand, Mana Leak, Stubborn Nile actually is a newer card to that deck. Spell Pierce, and Spell Snare. The deck also has Bolt and Helix and Path, so there's lots of removal to remove my guys as well as disrupt me while having an early threat. So that matchup is not insanely good, and I was not able to draw very well. I flooded game 1. In game 2, he had a very nice sequence of draws. Round 7, I went against Merfolk, which is usually a very just straightforwardly easy match. But game 2, I actually mulled a 4 after losing game 1. And I actually won a mull of 4 on the play, where I didn't draw my second land until turn 4. And then I was able to win game 3 as well, which was very fortunate. So I was 5-2 at this point, and I proceeded to lose both my next matches to a very cool Sultai deck in round 8. Sultai Control with Tireless Tracker and Goyf, and it was very, very, very cool. And it was really cool to talk to that guy after the match, talk about his deck, and it was just really nice. And then the following round, I lost the Infinity Mirror. The opponent was a little more skilled than I was, and I got to learn a little bit more about the mirror. Every time I play the mirror, I feel like I learn a little bit more, because it's a very intricate process. So that was my tournament report for the weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you join next week or next time for a tournament report. Until then, keep playing. Have fun.